Welcome to the Celeb Gigs Effect, the show celebrating the alumni of CELEB Gigs Academy. You guys, come on in, come on in, come on in. Hey, Lynn, how you doing? Always a pleasure to see you. Happy New Year. Come on in, come on in, come on in. We are awaiting special guest Kamary Mingo. As you come in, go ahead and let me know if you have any questions. My name is Monae Everett, celebrity hairstylist, author, and educator, and I am also the creator of the CELEB Gigs Effect. I created the CELEB Gigs Academy a few years ago to help hairstylists and makeup artists who are ready to get bigger gigs, get bigger deals, work with celebrities, work with brands, and for the people who are just really ready to be seen, the people who are ready to do something completely different. And guess what? This year it is not only virtual education. I am also touring. I am doing my very own tour called Building Beauty Bridges. We're going to kick off the very first event in Atlanta on January 26th, a full day of education. The day prior, January 25th, there will be a mixer for you to get to know who's moving, who's shaking, and who's popping in the Atlanta area. I'm going to have a ton of special guests and panels on Monday, January 26th, and you never know who's going to pop up at the mixer on Monday evening, January 25th from 6 to 9 p.m. Okay, we're giving Cam just a moment to pull up because we want to have her join us. Hey, Sheena on set, so good to see you. Welcome. While you're here, this is a great time for you to come in and introduce yourself. Let us know what you do and where you're from. This is a great time to ask any questions about the hair or makeup industry and how to become a special request from different celebrities, how to be requested to work on sets, how to start booking gigs, especially editorial gigs, red carpet gigs. A lot of the people who work with me also do a lot of bridal, but they don't do the regular everyday bridal. They do the on request bridal, they do destination weddings, they offer packages. Oh, hey, Cam's joining us. Wonderful. Cam, go ahead and hit that request button. We'd love to bring you on. So we have Cam joining us. Now is the great time for you guys to go ahead and get all of your questions together. Beauty by Jennifer S. How do you get noticed to work on sets editorial? I'm currently working at a salon in Maryland. Well, the first thing is you don't get noticed. This is not just something that happens to you. In CELEB Gigs Academy, I teach how to pitch, how to find the jobs and the career that you want, how to create the money that you want, because you don't want people to just come on and find you and offer whatever because you'll think it's a great gig. I teach you what you need to know in order to pitch yourself to get the jobs and the career that you really want. So you are not waiting to be discovered. Make sure to sign up for my free webinar. The next one is Monday the 8th. Head over to celebgigs.com. Let me go ahead and pin that right before I bring Cam on. Cam is a graduate of CELEB Gigs Academy. So I guess she'll be on and she'll let you guys know what she thought of her investment. All right, bringing Cam on. Accept. Hopefully that brought her in. It takes a second. Hey,
Hi,
Kim. How you doing?
I'm Monae. I'm good.
Uh, Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to speak with me. Cam is always in demand and always in request. So I know she got a client on the other side of that camera. We got to
You're
keep this
welcome.
quick because my girl is always booked and
I just
always
finished.
busy. So, welcome back to the Celeb Gigs Effect, the show where we feature Celeb Gigs Academy alumni. Today's conversation is about what happens when an artist becomes the special request. I'm sitting down with kamary Mingo, a braider whose work has put her in rooms with NBA players and Broadway talent. We're talking about visibility, trust, and what really changes when your positioning and professionalism start working for you. This is not about chasing opportunities, it's about being prepared for when they come. So let's get into it. Cam, tell the people about you. Don't get on here and be modest. Tell them all about how fab you are and what they need to know about you.
um, I'm a braider. I specialize in braids. Well, licensed cosmetologist, but I specialize in braids. I've been braiding for, I think this year will make 23 years. And I'm based in New York. And I took the Celeb Gigs Academy 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was February of 2024. And Monae had to like nudge me to take it. She booked appointments. She came and talked to me about the class.
Mm-hmm.
And I had already been following her and like, oh, that would be cool if I did that. But I never pulled the trigger until she like actually came in the salon. And so I'm like, I liked her vibe and I just went out on a limb. I wasn't expecting anything. I was just like, it it couldn't hurt with somebody who's been on that side of the industry. I'm like, it couldn't hurt to learn from someone with more experience. And so I took the
Absolutely.
class, and maybe, I don't know if it's maybe like most of your students who take the class, but I didn't start applying the information right away. It wasn't like I did the 6 week program and then jumped off with the photo shoots and then this and that. And it took a little time, a couple months. And then I got an opportunity in my DM and I'm like, oh, they were talking about rates. And I'm like, oh, I don't know how to price them. And then I'm like, okay, that was in the course. So I had something to
Mhm.
reference. And then I got another opportunity and I just kept going back to the workbook from the class.
Yeah, my students be a little hard-headed. Hold on, what am I supposed to say? My students want to do things on their own time. So no, you are not unique in that. But let's back way up. The first thing you said was I came in to see you because the first thing I have to say is I went to Cam to get my hair braided. I had been scoping Cam and I was like, Cam's work is really good. So one, I want her to do my hair. Two, I want her to have a different work experience. I was like, I can't judge from what I'm seeing on her page, but I feel like she's awesome. And I feel like more people need to know about Cam. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go get my hair braided and let's see if she's open to hearing about what Celeb Gigs Academy can do for her. And I don't know if y'all can tell by Cam's demeanor, but she was a little like, okay, girl, that's great. Could you sit here and get your hair braided? And I was like, yes, I can do that. You're doing a great job, but tell me what's going on with you. Tell me what's happening. And she had some good opportunities, but just wasn't sure. So we're not going to get all into your business because we don't do that. If I remember correctly, you had had a couple of good opportunities, but didn't know how to leverage them, didn't know how to make it happen again. And I would say that is what a large amount of students who go through celeb Gigs Academy, what they're going through. They work with one celebrity or they've worked with someone notable and they're like, okay, but what do I do from here?
Mhm.
I was like, oh girl, just give this a chance. Come on into Celeb Gigs Academy and you're gonna see how we can rock. All right. So you know I always come with questions. So I'm prepared with all these questions. Let's go through these questions while your client's waiting. She ain't say they're waiting, but I know somebody's waiting because somebody's always waiting for Cam. All right. Before joining Celeb Gigs Academy, what did your work and client base look like?
I have mostly professional women, men, entrepreneurs, a lot of corporate people, advertising, whatever. I had a really good stable of clients as far as my target audience. I feel like maybe the last 2 or 3 years before I took the class, I was working on actually getting to my target audience and getting them to come to me. And that took like me restructuring my Instagram, the type of posts that I put up, how I had my booking site set up to like filter out certain people. So I was satisfied with the clientele that I had. And then, like you said, in spurts, I would get opportunities to do like a celebrity or do an influencer, but it wasn't consistent. So it may be at the beginning of the year, at the end of the year, here and there. So I just wanted to get more of the freelance opportunities, just to be consistent, like on a monthly basis.
Yeah, you wanted to take control of your clientele and your opportunities. I tell artists all the time, there's nothing wrong with being amazing in the salon if that's what you want, but there are more opportunities available if you would like different opportunities.
Yeah.
All right. And you also mentioned that you have been working on drilling down to your target audience and the type of clientele you wanted for a couple of years. I find that interesting because most artists think that all they have to do is say, okay, I'm going to take this type of client and they're going to flock to them and it's always going to be perfect, but they don't understand what you apparently understood. That sometimes it takes a little bit of time, a little bit of finesse. You have to move a few pieces this way, move a few pieces that way in order to get to where you want to be.
Mhm.
All right. What were you finding most challenging about being seen by the right people, the decision makers, those who can hire you for work beyond the chair?
As far as the work that I was putting out online, I feel like I was being consistent with that so that if someone, I was using the hashtags, I had the whole posting strategy, or post at this time when most of your audience is da 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 da. I feel like I had the social media strategy down, but I didn't have the connections to get seen by those people. Since I've taken the class, like I said, you referred people to me. People that I've met through you have seen something in me to make them want
Hmm.
to refer me to other people.
Yeah.
So it's not just having an online presence, it's about who you can connect with in real life, who can put you in these rooms, or who can suggest you to certain clients. And it's a snowball effect, because since then, my name has been passed around and I've gotten
Mhm.
different opportunities just off of word of mouth and referrals.
Okay, all right. And I know they want to know some of the celebrities. So we're only going to drop one right now. We're going to make them listen for some of the other ones. Um, one of America's favorite mothers. Do you want to say her name?
Yes, that was actually the highlight of my year. I did Felicia Rashad. I got a chance to style her over the summer.
And Felicia Rashad, for those who don't know, played Claire on The Cosby Show. She is beloved. She's done so many other roles, and she is considered one of the mothers of Hollywood. So I know that must have been an amazing feeling. You want to share anything about what it was like to get that booking?
That actually came to me from a referral, someone I met through
Mm-hmm.
you,
Mm-hmm.
and they referred her to me. And it was the first time that I had been asked to bring on someone to help me braid.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, somebody at her stature, she wants to be in and out. So that was my first time hiring a braid assistant to help
Mm-hmm.
me. And then I had to, like you had to do with me, I'm sure I had to then find somebody that I could trust, who would
Yes.
show up and be on time and be professional. And that was a breeze, and that worked out good because I met someone through a Fashion Week show that I did last year as well. And I just pulled her
Mm-hmm.
into that. And she actually assisted me on another job. So now I have someone, I'm building connections. I have someone who I can reach out to for jobs like that. But the experience with Miss Rashad was just gracious. She was, came and sat and talked and like joked around and stuff like that. And it was cool. I loved it.
That's awesome. Yes, yes, guys. And believe it or not, she said that's the highlight of her year, but it's not because she's done other dope stuff.
That's
But, she's
well.
modest. So that's always a good thing. She's
I mean, as
modest.
far as client wise, that's like the highlight.
Oh, but there's been other fun that we might be able to get Cam to talk about because she's super discreet, so she's
Yeah,
not gonna tell you much. She might tell you, that much, and she's
a little
smart to
bit.
do that. You always want to protect your career.
Mhm.
So what is the moment that made you decide to join Celeb Gigs Academy?
Well, like I said before, there was nothing like I wasn't getting it on my own. It was something beyond my reach. And I
Mm-hmm.
knew it was time to just enlist the help of somebody else. Because we can get ourselves to a certain point and then we need help.
And completely right. Every professional that you see has a myriad of different types of coaches. And most people don't realize that. Yes, you were able to get yourself to the point where you are a respected braider. People know you don't play, you're a businesswoman, but that's one level. The next level, you're going to need somebody to coach you there. And when you go to the level after that, you're going to need a different type of coach because you're going to evolve as a professional, and I feel like a lot of beauty professionals, we come into it with the mindset of, well, I know how to do makeup, I know how to do hair, so I'm good. No, you're running a business as well. So I appreciate you pointing that out. So tell me about something that shifted for you in your mindset once you were inside the program, because clearly you had already realized you could use a little bit of help, but it sounded like you still needed a little bit of a push to start utilizing what you learned. So tell me about a mindset shift that you went through during the program.
As soon as how you laid out the sections or the chapters in the workbook and how everything snowballed into the next thing, like it made sense to do this before you do that, and it was a progression that made sense. So I noticed in the class that I needed structure because even I knew that I needed to do photo shoots or I needed to have like comp cards or something like that. But it's like, okay, I need to do this, but then when do I do this and when do I do that? And then it
Yeah.
becomes jumbled up and you don't end up getting anything done. So I had to shift my mindset to doing things in order
Mm-hmm.
because it made sense
Yeah.
and it's less stressful when you have a structure about it and you can get it done quicker when you know what you're doing, the steps that you have to take.
Absolutely. That's got to be the hardest part, ordering your steps, because you can know how to do a few particular things, but not what order to do them in. So you find yourself spinning your wheels, going in circles, and you're like, well, I learned something new. I did something different, yet I'm still back in the same situation. Like I tell people every new year, you say, I want to do this different. I want to make progress here, but many New Years, you're in the same situation, still working on the same issue. What is that? What is that line? When you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity.
Mm-hmm.
And Lord Jesus, I know I have felt like was going insane in my career multiple times, so I get that. Um, so how did learning who to pitch and how to communicate professionally change the opportunities that came your way?
Knowing who to pitch, I get a lot of DMs about like from hair brands, companies wanting to work. And as much as you want to take opportunities on, if it doesn't fit the the direction I'm trying to go in, if it doesn't fit even the styles that I offer, I can't take it. So in your pitch portion of your class, you had us write out all of these companies that we would want to work with and
Mm-hmm.
celebrities and da 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 da. So once I started to look around the salon, I'm like, okay, I use this brand, I use this product, I use this. It made more sense for me to select from my own environment. So once I created that list out, I reached out to those people. And like I told you, the list that I started out with, I think I had about 10 companies
Mm-hmm.
on the list. And I used the pitch template that you had, and I emailed all of those people, and everybody responded to me. Everybody
Kim, that's
responded.
amazing. A hundred
If
percent.
everybody responded, if they couldn't, if they weren't the actual person for the PR, they directed me towards the person. They gave me the email or they gave me the social media of the person that I need to contact to, in fact, get what I need. And even throughout this year, without following up with a couple of them, because there was some back and forth messages that dropped off, they just naturally just sent the stuff over, even though we didn't continue the conversation. So it'd be like 6 months later, I get a package. I'm like, who is this from? And oh, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
So that was cool. So
Joe.
just doing it, taking the steps to do it, because you be scared like, oh, someone's gonna say no, or they're gonna leave my message on red. But you just have to ask.
You do have to ask, and I remember Cam and I specifically discussing this, and my response was a Monet response of, if you pitch them and they don't respond, are you going to die? No. And
Even
you
if they
never
don't
know.
all respond back at the same time, everybody responded back within maybe 3 months time. Because like I
Hmm.
said, you might forget about something and then they still respond, or they just send it without saying anything. So
I love that for you, Cam. So you
that's
brought
nice.
up two really great points. The first thing I want to really dive into is I have a lot of braiders who are interested in expanding their career, but they feel like they don't have the opportunity. And you have the unique experience of being a braider who is respected but also requested on set. Can you talk a little bit about how you felt in the beginning, knowing that you wanted to do more things, but maybe feeling like these opportunities are not there for braiders?
Um, I had kind of a different experience with the on set stuff.
Okay.
So my first time being invited to do a set was through a braider.
Okay.
It was through the platform Magic Fingers, and she exclusively works with braiders. So for that, I kind of felt like it was easy because I was around nothing but braiders. And I think somebody in the live also, T, she was also a part of those set days or those braid battles and stuff like that. But as of right now, um, I'm hoping that it's not any type of discrimination against braiders, because I've thought about, and you've told me that too, that even though I do braids, I do need to venture out into doing other styles so that I can
Mm-hmm.
be requested more and I don't pigeonhole myself just by doing the braids, which is why last year when I got asked to do the fashion week shows, I jumped on it because not I was doing natural hair. We were,
Mm-hmm.
brought on to do braids, but we were also doing slick backs on Caucasian hair and Asian hair and ponytails and blowouts. And so through working those fashion week shows, I am getting other experience and other knowledge that I'll use for different types of set jobs.
I love that for you. I love that you're like, listen, my experience has been good. I love that for you. I was asking to lead into many braiders are telling me that they don't think they can make it, but I know that they can make it. I know that there are opportunities available for braiders. I know that they are requested by many different demographics. My first book was on braided hairstyles. So braiding can mean so many different things. And I love that you are showing no braiders are needed on set. T, you said something very interesting, so I'll actually address it now. She was saying that she'll get booked to do braids. So she'll send the model or the talent to set with braids, but the person that gets credited, they get credited for laying edges. Now, T,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna drop something for you that's gonna be hard to take in. The person who gets credited for the hair or the makeup is the person who was booked for the job. Okay? That doesn't matter who did what. So on this shoot, you are the hairstylist, you get the credit. So it does not matter how the talent or model shows up. you're getting credited because you did the work. Now, you have a lot of people like me, I will credit if they come and the hair is already braided. But I have been on numerous sets where that's the situation. Hell, I've even cornrowed somebody hair and seen them in the shoot and been like, oh, that would have been nice had you told me. I have completely styled somebody's hair for a morning like TV show or shoot or something, and they do something else in the afternoon, and the other hairstylist is tagged. So it was a tough realization of the business side of things. It's not about who actually did the work, it's who is booked for the job. T, I'm gonna let that breathe for a minute. I know that was heavy on your chest, but once you know the game, you know how to play it. So I help people like him and other hair and makeup artists learn how to get booked for that gig so that they are also credited and generally make more. But I digress. Let's come on back. Um, well, this is a good thing to jump into. What do artists misunderstand about what it takes to work with a high profile talent?
Well, just through conversation. For example, I did a Fashion Week show back in February of last year, and there was a group of braiders, and they give you your call time and what to bring, and they may even send you pictures of the styles beforehand or once you get there of the inspiration. So one thing, before we even get to the braids, it's about how you show up as a professional. So it's about being on time. It's about being professional. It's about being able to take direction if you're booked to work up under someone.
Hmm.
That experience showed me that a lot of people, even though you get that opportunity to go and work a Fashion Week show, you don't, some of the people weren't showing up prepared, or like they were even grateful for the opportunity. And I'm like, you're here and you're like an hour late.
Hmm.
You are not taking good directions. You're having to take stuff down 2 and 3 times and redoing it. And behind the scenes at a fashion show, it's fast. Like, you get modeled, they may sit in your chair for 5 to 8 minutes, and
Yep.
then they're up getting dressed, getting makeup, being moved around.
Hmm.
So a lot of the times, I think before you even think about getting booked to do a certain hairstyle, you have to prepare yourself on how to show up professionally, so that when you do get booked and you go and you do a good job, people want you to come back. And
Yes.
like, there were conversations where it's like, okay, they came, but I'll never work with them again. And that is embarrassing. That is horrifying, that you got the opportunity and you just let it slip because you couldn't be professional.
Yeah, yeah, what you're saying is absolutely right. I've witnessed all of this. Like I said, I've been a hairstylist for over 25 years. And I've made a lot of mistakes. I've done a lot of things wrong. I've showed up late. I have not been prepared. I have not realized the importance of teamwork, which is why when I finally got my stuff together, I wrote Get Out of Your Own Way, because I was like, there are so many things I didn't know and I didn't pay attention to. One thing I want to specifically call out, you talked about braiders taking direction, like if they're an assistant. So I want to call out two things. The first one is on a Fashion Week show, there's only one lead. The entire team is an assistant. And I have found a lot of artists kind of struggle with understanding that they are assistants. They are there to follow direction. But I also want to draw out this one thing. And can I keep you for about 5 more minutes?
Mhm.
Great. I also want to draw out this one thing, the importance of teamwork. What was your experience? What has your experience been working with other braiders and hairstylists? How do they work together? How do they understand the importance of teamwork?
Well, most recently, I was in Detroit for a job, and I was the braider. They had a barber and a makeup artist. We were the glam team.
Yeah.
So outside of the talent, having to be like whisked away to do like wardrobe and stuff, once they came back to the glam section, if if there was a time crunch for something to get a look in, if I'm braiding and the makeup artist knows that she can do something without getting in my way, she'll come over, and then I'm making sure that I'm out the way so that the barber can get done what he needs to get done. But we're all in conversation. So it's not separate compartments. We're all doing the same
Yeah.
job. We're all working together to get the talent to whatever looks that they need to get and then come back. So it's a conversation. So when you go to these sets, like you said, I am more reserved. But when I am on set, I have to be open. I have to be friendly. I have to
Hmm.
talk to the makeup artist, the barber, the nail people, because they'll come and scoot in while you're doing what you're doing. They'll take a hand over here, a hand over there, and then you got the head in the middle. And so, it could be a lot, but being open to communicating with other stylists, not being too big to just not want to get everything done in a smooth timeline.
Yeah, I love that. And as you were talking, because you were explaining so eloquently, it made me think about track and field. Everybody trains individually for their individual sport. Many of them, say, for example, are sprinters, but then you have a 4x4. So you have someone who competes individually on their own, which would be you and your individual talent. But then you have a 4x4 where they have to work together as a team. Everybody has one dedicated path where they are responsible for really bringing it home, but there is also an overlap. So that overlap is when hair and makeup are working at the same time. The braider and the barber are working at the same time. If you guys don't work in tandem, you drop the baton and lose the race for everybody. So this is a way to think about this. We're used to our being our individual selves and our individual talent, when we're at the salon, when we're running our own business. But when we want bigger and better gigs, better paying jobs, better access, it's going to only happen if you are a part of a team, and you better do your part right. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
one of my Monaisms when I go off to the left. Okay, so what is one thing you can confidently do now that you couldn't do before Celeb Gigs Academy?
Mm, I think just having the confidence to reach out to people, even if there's no relationship, cold calling, cold emailing. My confidence in that has grown a lot because now I create the email, even whether it's off of your template or whether
Hmm.
I go off and I freestyle and say what I want
Yeah,
to say. I just create it and I send it. And whatever comes back, comes back. But I have a lot more confidence just to ask for the opportunities that I want versus waiting for things to come in my inbox, which they do. They
hmm.
come in my inbox often, but I can't get comfortable with that. I still have to pitch myself.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that confidence is coming from you now understanding you're fully prepared. There's almost nothing they can ask you for that you are not able to do and not prepared to do.
Yeah.
Now I remember what I was going to ask you earlier about the brands. You get to work with a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
brands. So many people jump in my DMs and they say, I want to know how to work with brands. So the first thing I'd like for you to share is how does it feel being able to work with multiple different brands?
I mean, it feels great, especially the brands that I use on a day-to-day basis. Like back in September, I got a chance to work with Outre, the synthetic hair company. I did a 2-day brand partnership with them where we tried out a new hairline that they were coming out with. So we got a chance to do models, learn about the brand, learn about the company. I was able also through that to work with on Jackie's product. They have a braid line
Yes.
that just came out, and so I've worked with that. I've given my feedback on that. I like giving my feedback. I think that's one of the things that I like too, because I do use these brands on a day to day. And there are things that I, like to convey to the company about what I would like and, even areas that they could work on themselves, whether it's with the product or working with actual braiders and
Hmm.
partnering with us to do things like that as well.
So it sounds like Cam is getting to into the consulting game.
Yeah.
That's where that good money is, the
I would
consulting.
love.
Oh,
I would love.
all right. Okay, Cam, I see you. I see you. Awesome. So I hope that the trained ear heard Cam say that she is able to work with different brands, make sure her voice matters. But so many people come to me and they say, well, I thought if you worked with a brand, you had to be exclusive with that brand. And they think that that means you can't ever work with any hair brands. So we're not going to give them any more
Mm,
about that. But I hope they heard you say how you're able to decide who you work with, and that includes working with multiple different brands at the same damn time.
mhm.
So hopefully they heard that. Okay, I know we are running up on time. Are you able to share anything about maybe traveling with talent? Have you had that opportunity?
I have. Like I just said, I just did a brand partnership where I was flown out to Detroit with one of my basketball clients, Kate Cunningham. And when you sent me the questionnaire to do this live, I
Uh-huh.
think maybe the last question said, like, what is the future goal?
Yes.
And I think you sent me that either at the end of November or the beginning of December, because I
Mhm.
wrote that I wanted to be featured in a specific publication for next year, and I got the call 2 weeks later to do that job. And so in March, I'm gonna reach out to you because it's coming out in March.
Okay.
The exact publication that I listed is who I'll be doing the feature with. And so I'm very excited.
I am so excited for you. Yes, I want to know who it is. Listeners, I really don't know who it is, but hopefully she might tell me. And Cam is so professional that she is not speaking about something before it happens. And I love that for you. Oh my God, Cam, I love that for you. I love that for you. I don't know if you know, but I am having one of my first in real life educational events in Atlanta on January 26th, where I am going to help other hair and makeup artists who want to get published and do high-end stuff. But Cam, your career has taken off so fast and it is going so well. And I'm like, pretty soon, I'm thinking I'm going to have to bring in some CELEB Gigs Academy graduates so that I can put you guys on stage and people can see how amazing you are and other people can see, these dreams are real. I'm not just somebody who has all of this experience and I'm so far apart from you. Cam took this class 2 years ago, and every time I talk, Cam has not even repeated anything she told me the last time I talked to her. To have all of these accolades in 2 years is amazing, and I am just blessed to be a part of your journey. I'm so damn happy for you, Cam. My goodness.
Yeah, thank you. 2025 was I wrote a list the other day because I do it every year around my birthday because my birthday is tomorrow. So I wrote a
Happy, happy
list.
birthday.
Thank you. So I wrote a list of everything, all of my professional accomplishments from 2025, and I had to flip the page right on the
Come
back
on.
side. Like
Come on.
it was that. So I'm excited. And
Cam,
I would forget about it if I didn't write it down. It's important to write it down so you don't forget.
yes, all of us choose to write less than we should, but Cam, we got the minute. If you want to add anything from that list that you're comfortable with sharing, feel free to.
Sure. I was requested for my first fashion week show. So I did
Hmm.
February and September. So I think I've done 7 shows.
Hold on. Was there income made from these shows? Did you volunteer or did you receive any payment?
The spring of last
Hmm.
year was volunteer.
Okay.
And then I entered into September, fall, thinking that
Hmm.
it would also be volunteer. But I got a little surprised. It was paid.
Ow.
Oh, it
Ow.
was
Okay. All
paid.
right.
So I had my
Got
fashion
paid.
week
Hmm.
shows. I got my first athlete in 2025, and then that followed up with two other athletes from different. So I got my first NBA player. I got my first tennis player for the U.S. Open. And what else? And then my first job to be flown out was Houston. I did that in October. So that was the first time I
Hmm.
was flown out by a client, which is something that's always been on my little bucket list. I've never gone out of state to do hair.
Your talent will open doors for you that you didn't know existed. So you didn't know you wanted to walk through them. You will get to see places in this world you had no idea you wanted to visit. Your
Absolutely.
skill, your talent makes room for you.
Hmm. It does.
So, Cam, is there anything else you want to say to the audience before I let you get back to your busy on request day?
I'm gonna tell the audience what I told someone not too long ago when they asked me what I really thought about the class.
Mm-hmm.
And I told them the same thing as when I finished the class. You will get out of it what you put into it. It's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are willing to make the investment, because it's not chump change, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's also not rated at what it should be, which you are
Mm-hmm.
getting a deal for your money. But if you're willing to make the investment, go into it with the idea that you're going to check off all the boxes. Everything is literally laid
Mm-hmm.
out for you. And when you finish the course, you still have access to that information. So you
Yep.
can go about it at your own pace. Just put the work in if you really want to see a change in your day to day. If you want to take your career to the next level, you're only going to get out of it what you put into it. It's no
Absolutely.
magic. It's no magic sauce to it. You have to do the work.
One thing I can guarantee you is the creator has to bless you for the effort, for putting in the effort and taking the steps. You take the steps, you will see a benefit. It is not possible that you can go into it with intention, do what you need to do, and get nothing out of it.
Yeah, it's impossible.
It's not possible. And I had to put together the entire curriculum, so I had to reassess my career and start following things too. And I was like, yeah, this is it. This is it. You're going to get rewarded for making these steps. So, Cam, I know you're super busy. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit with us and to
Welcome.
talk about your experience in Celeb Gigs Academy. So I'm going to let you get moving while we close out the Celeb Gigs effect. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
So I want to thank everyone for pulling up for this week's episode of the Celeb Gigs Effect. If you'd like some in real life education, make sure to join me in Atlanta. And you can learn more about that at celebgigs.com/BBB Atlanta. Or you can join me on my free webinar at celebgigs.com. Maybe if you're not in the Atlanta area, my DMs are always open. If you have any questions about your career or what I do, jump in my DM and let's figure out how to get you help. Tune in next time for the Celeb Geeks Effect. Have a good one.